Hi everyone, welcome. My name is John McCoy. I'm an illustrator based in Cincinnati, Ohio, and in my last video with Fun with a Pencil, part 3, I had a YouTuber comment on the video asking for a little more in-depth analysis of the Blook ball as seen on page 18. So I'm going to make a separate video dedicated to that because I appreciate the comment, but at the same time, it's a valuable point, which is that the sphere is, since it's so integral to the shape and form of these characters, I see it as a good thing to go over it a little more because understanding how to draw these spheres and understanding the spheres will help immensely with using it as a launching platform for placing these features of the face and understanding the whole concept. So a little extra practice doesn't hurt anyone. So we're on page 18 real quick. I'm going to go over this, a little bit of a shorter video, but it's good to go over these ellipses and spheres again. Okay, so here we have the sphere. He says the Blook ball. If you will now turn back to page 12, go follow his direction. Page 12, there it is. Take a good look at this page. A circle is a flat disk. If you draw the inside contours, it becomes a solid ball with a third dimension. We shall build other forms, like lumps of clay, onto this solidity. The construction will be erased, but the solid appearance will remain, giving form or the appearance of reality. And by the way, in the next video, part 4 and the next videos, I should say, this is going to be really important to think of it as a three-dimensional structure, and you'll see why if you watch those videos. So please watch those videos, but in this one, we're going to talk about the sphere a little more. So he's saying this is a circle, it's a flat disk, but once you draw the inside contours, it starts to take solidity. Jumping back to page 18 to go over that. I've already drawn this, which is to show how we can show those contours, and I drew these lines darker to show the one that is closer to us. So this line, these lines right here are the front of the face. And if we were drawing one of these faces, this is to be considered the surface. Almost as if you're drawing on the surface. Or I could jump and draw on the backside lighter, but you can see how this is three-dimensional by the thickness of the lines. I've demonstrated that. But as Andrew Loomis says, we have a circle and then we have the contours. And I wanted to talk about something real quick, which is not necessarily in Andrew Loomis's book in the beginning, which may be very helpful for you, which is how I learned to draw ellipses in art college. And basically, the principle behind this is drawing a square or a rectangle, depending on how you're viewing the ellipse. In this case, you're seeing an ellipse that is scrunched in because it's not a circle, it's being warped in. And the easiest way to do that is by drawing a rectangle or a square, and I can draw it at any angle. So I'm going to expound upon this by drawing a rectangle instead of a square. And the basic principle is that if you subdivide these exterior walls of the rectangle or square, you get the midpoints. And then those midpoints are connected. But the thing to think about when you're drawing an ellipse or a circle is that these lines want to go as close to the corner as they can and still look, of course, like an ellipse and not a rectangular sphere. But this technique I learned in art school, and this will definitely help. And you can see how you have an ellipse. And you can draw it at any angle because sometimes it helps to draw the lines in the middle. But I think that's going to be very helpful because you'll be able to see how a lot of these imaginary lines, which Loomis is going over, is not, if you're actually in drawing reality, is not a circle like this. So basically the principle of the way he does this, he says, use your eye to tell you where to put the curves to divide the ball. The divisions need not be perfect, but practice on these. So see how many positions you can draw and always draw the axis. So I'll draw another one here, starting with that circle, and always draw the axis. So if you draw the axis, it's going to be a subdividing line through this circle. And then when you have the axis, you can draw that ellipse, which defines, this will be the front part of the face. I'll make it slightly darker. So you can see the front side of the face, and then you can see how it curves back behind the ball. But think about that too when you're drawing your spheres, that these lines are actually ellipses that continue around the back side of the spheres, the actual physical sphere. Imagine a physical ball, and if I trace a line, it's going behind, so, and then whatever angle it is, so I can study that sphere from any angle. But picture it as a three-dimensional space, so that that line is tracing around the sphere, which is, of course, another thing that's a very common mistake when we're learning to draw, is we're drawing this circle and we draw the line like this when we draw the front of it, which is wrong. Because why? Because everything must be a sphere, which means if that was a sphere, it would go like this, because that indicates the direction of where this line continues. The thing is it curves around, so it has to have this sort of course it's occluded by what we're seeing, that if we're seeing a ball, the line disappears behind. So obviously it's not going to, you're going to have to terminate the line at some point, but drawing these loose lines, such as he does with the dotted lines here, shows you how that line continues behind there, and that's really important for the three-dimensionality, so that you're not drawing it like this arc like this, which is not actually, because what's going to happen when it goes behind the ball? Is it going to be like another arc, and then it's got this weird, it looks flat. It should be a line that continues, and the thing is, it's an ellipse. You can picture this as being a cut in half. You've seen those images of Earth where they show the cross-sectional thing, where you can cut this and then the line continues, and you have this. That analysis and understanding of how the sphere works and stuff is going to very much help you to understand how to draw these spheres, which will be very helpful, I think. And if you want, you can do what he's done and draw dotted lines while you're practicing, or you can draw lighter lines. So in this case, I like to draw a lot of like darker lines like this to show the front, the part of the face of the object that's closest to me. And then fading back and so forth. I can even add a little shading just to show my point here. So hard, as if we were looking into a sphere that's been cut into, like those diagrams of the Earth where they say, oh, the core and the mantle here is resting in here. But anyways, that's just a point of something imaginary that you can think of to help you understand the sphere. Because a lot of it is really just wrapping your mind around it, but I think what's going to help you the most is the ellipses and understanding. That's a very important concept, and it's a common mistake that people make, is when, like I said, I'll go over it one more time here, is that, okay, they have this circle, which Andrew Loomis says, draw the circle first. It's a flat shape. And then when they draw that line that suggests the contour like he's drawing, they do it too weird. There's no other way of describing it, but this line cannot possibly represent a perfect sphere, because say maybe if we analyze this one, the shape actually looks more like this, but it's actually not a sphere, it's like a disc, because you're describing the form with your lines, and focus on the ellipse is all I'm saying. Have the circle, focus on an actual ellipse, and if it helps, you can use that technique that I learned in art college, which is subdividing a square and drawing an ellipse. And you can draw any kind of ellipse, but when you get better at it, you can draw more and more ellipses in different positions and stuff like that. So I hope this video has been really helpful for you. Learning the ellipse and the sphere is going to be really important for this lesson, and I really appreciate the comment from Emma Hamilton, and that's the source of this video. So I hope this is helpful for you, and I'll see you in the next video. God bless you guys.